Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another evening, another Tuesday evening of Let's Talk About It Tuesday. My name is Dr. Rashawn Broadneck, and I'm here in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm so happy to be here with our wonderful panel of guests. At this time, let me bring each and every one of them in. Let's start this evening off with Miss Shanae Starnes. There she is.
All right, sorry about that. Hi, good evening. I'm Shanae Starnes, and I'm out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm excited to be a part of this fabulous team of professionals. I am in the process of rebranding, so my goal is to help individuals with their finances as it pertains to their personal life and their business. So I'm the financial educator, licensed cosmetology teacher, and I'm excited to be here as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Starnes. Let's move on to Ms. Marguerite Moten. Here she comes. There she is.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I'm Marguerite Moten, the owner of Amore Studios here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Welcome.
All right. And next we have Dr. Pamela Hill.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Pamela Hill, located in Fredericksburg, Virginia, owner of Healthy Hair Care and Salon and Beauty Academy. Welcome to tonight's call.
All right, Salon and Beauty Academy. I love the sound of that. And last but definitely not least, Miss Dr. Suzette Robinson.
Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Suzette Robinson from the wonderful state of Alabama. I am your educator, certifier, and owner of Wigs by Suzette Hair Replacement Center. I am so excited about tonight and glad to see everybody that's on the panel. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
All right, so let's dive right into our topic this evening. We are doing a continuation of last week with something new. So I'll turn it over to Miss Shanae Starnes, our financial guru.
All right.
Yes. Listen, thank you. Listen, I would be totally remiss if I didn't mention the start of Black History Month.
Yes.
And I would love to start it off with Madam C.J. Walker. She's the first documented female entrepreneur in a time when there may have been just a glimpse of hope that would have happened for her. I also need to make sure I mention Annie Turnbow Malone as well, because she was her mentor. They say that she was actually the first millionaire, but fate would have it that because of the story behind Madam C.J. Walker, she got more notoriety. So she's known as the documented millionaire. But I'd like to also add to our information as we celebrate those that have done it before us. There is a Madam Sarah Spencer who admired Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Turnbow Malone. So we want to go ahead and bring her into the mix. And she started the Apex system. So more information, you can look that information up, but I wanted to start our show off with something that was important to our profession because of the topic we were going to cover tonight. So our topic last week was how important is your profession? Tonight, we're going to talk about how do you stay in your profession during difficult times, during hard times. So I'd like to pose a question to someone. What one thing has allowed them to stay in the profession that they're in spite of a difficult time that you incurred? Would anyone like to first start that off?
Start off. I think what actually helped me somewhat, and I wish I would have pushed it even more, is retail. Being that we were shut down, a lot of people still were purchasing items, even though that salons and barbershops, excuse me, was shut down, you still had Walmarts and different stores that were still open to get products. So I'm thankful that my clients did order they shampoos and conditioners and so forth, whatever, to try to maintain, you know, through the 3 months that we were actually out. So retail really helped me stay afloat to a certain percentage.
That's great. That's good. That's a great suggestion to someone to maybe diversify their business, to have and be prepared. You know, we want to now be prepared. Anyone else want to add before I go into?
Sure, I'll add to that. I would definitely say I can piggyback off of what Pam said. And like you coined it, diversifying your business, definitely having multiple streams of income. For me, it was not so much the hair business that was able to do it, but it was just being able to do different things. So during, say, the pandemic, when the salons were shut down, I actually did not know what I was going to do. I had the option of continuing to sell my hair and wigs and things like that, but also I was able to make the face masks, which were kind of mandated at the time, right? So just being crafty and being able to do something else with my hands actually sustained me. It paid my rent, you know, because I was like, what's going to happen? Where's my supplemental income? But it helped out a great deal. So just being able to do something else in addition to your business, or that can join in with your business, would be a great thing.
I love it. That's exactly what you did to help you stay afloat. So that's great. You were able to pull from areas that you didn't know you could pull from,
Right.
because we'll talk about that in a minute. So what I want to share with you is that there is a foundation to everything, right? Especially going into business. So when you ask the question, you know, how do I stay in my profession during hard times? It goes back to foundational information. And in both of the responses, you heard that there were finances involved, money. You know, we may know how to earn money, but there's also some instances where we need to learn how to, and add this into our business planning, to save money, that emergency type fund, as well as protecting our money, right? So the question is, again, how do you stay in hard times? Let me just share with you what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about how businesses, all of them, from the ones that you've worked for, from the ones your mother and father worked for, they all had a goal. And I say this because I think that we throw the word goal setting around haphazardly to a point where I'm teaching high school students and they are like, I set goals, but I had to break it down. Do you really set goals? Do you understand the importance of it? Because goal setting will help you to see trends before they happen. Goal setting will also help you stay afloat mentally while you're going through. So businesses begin with goal setting. What are the actions that successful career-driven people do? They create benchmarks and they create stepping stones, okay? So tonight, and I'm gonna pass it on and ask a question. Tonight, we're gonna talk about a framework that many of us have heard about, some may not, and it's called SMART goals. And I'm really passionate about that because that right there can move you to wherever you need to go. And when you get to wherever you need to go, you need to still create SMART goals. And we'll discuss what that is. Does anyone want to add to the SMART goals? Have they heard of it? Have they utilized it? Let me start there. Okay, let me say this. Yeah, he said this. Listen, I'm honored to be able to talk this evening because I'm working with high schoolers and they have 4 months until they are out into the world as adults. And so this assignment was a real struggle. And I actually covered this when they were juniors in the beginning of their junior year, but it goes to show I had to explain to them yet again that everything that you've done had a goal. Even when your mom birthed you, there was a goal. There was a goal to make sure that you got what you needed. There was a goal set for the job that you may have started. Everything has a goal. Even God had a goal and the vision, and he wrote it down and he said to make it very clear. That's goal setting, that's vision planning, that's vision forecasting. So goals that are smart, they are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are realistic, and they are time sensitive. And so we're going to break down each one of those, because I think that many of you have heard it, but we just haven't taken the time to do it for ourselves. But this is the same roadmap that I'm utilizing right now to set some goals in my business, just in case and when or if my business goes into hard times, or if me personally goes through a hard time. All of us have been exposed to illnesses. People are dying. There's mental health concerns that are going on. So we are amongst hard times. How do you keep from losing it all? Okay. So just going into the SMART goals, the first one is to make it specific. I'm gonna make y'all laugh because sometimes I'm like specific.
Yeah.
I don't care how you say it, but be intentional about what you want to do. You want it to be something that you want to accomplish. So somebody can't make the goal for you to want you to accomplish it. If it's a goal made for you and you don't want to accomplish it, you ain't gonna put worth the effort.
No.
You ain't gonna put forth effort. So it's one that needs to be focused. And you're gonna answer some W questions in that specific goal that you want to do. Just name one, because you can have multiple ones. So in this one goal, you want to make sure that you answer the question, who's involved in the goal? What is the goal? Is there a where? Where do you want to go with the goal?
Right.
And the when. Those are your W questions. Those are foundational. How does anybody feel about that? Here we are at the top of the year, a lot of vision parties going on, and we're cutting out things and we're pasting it, we're putting it up. But have you taken the time to go back to the vision board that you did last year, maybe 6 months ago, and mark off the accomplishments? Because that's a part of vision. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mark it off and readjust, right? So being specific. Anybody want to either share a specific goal that they like to accomplish by 2022, the end of the quarter? I'm not talking about the end of the year. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
When we say the end of the year, sometimes that's way too long. And so we don't start working on our goal until 6 months into the year, when our year should be broken up into quarters. So does anyone have a specific goal that they are trying to reach this quarter? Because these are things that are going to help you during difficult times, because you got a goal.
Well,
go ahead, Margaret. Go ahead.
Sorry, no. Well, the goal that I'm gonna reach in this first quarter is making sure my social media is up and running properly. So that's my goal. I feel like that is very much needed in pertaining to business. And in this season, in this time of year, back in the day, no, we didn't do the social media piece, but now it's very important. And so that's my goal, is to accomplish this in this season.
Perfect. It's real good. Dr. Robinson, what were you going to share?
I kind of want to piggyback a little bit on what Marguerite said, but in the line of, it's amazingly you're talking about this, because I want to go back to a word that you said early, specific. And I think that's something I was talking to a student today, and I was telling her how she needs to be specific about what she's trying to accomplish. When we're talking about goal setting, And I don't know about y'all, but I know I've had a lot of goals, but I've never been specific
Yes.
with them. So great ideas, wanting to do them, but not being specific to execute them has been my downfall. Okay. So I'm learning. I like that word. That word is resonating in me right now. Specific, because when you're specific about what you're trying to do and you work on that specific thing, you can accomplish it with no problem. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself doing several different things and you're easily distracted. And I know I get distracted easily, but if I'm focused on that one particular thing, that one particular goal, I can see myself accomplishing it. So my thing for 2022, for as long as God allows me to live, is to be specific about what I'm gonna do. Stay focused on that one specific thing until it's accomplished. And then if I will move to the next, and maybe my mindset would be better to move to the next thing, you know, but I love that word, being specific. I like it.
There you go. I want to just say that success happens with planning, focusing, taking advantage of opportunities. That means don't be afraid when someone presents you with something. I get presented with a lot of things. And when I was younger, I'd not call people back, not answer. But now I'm like, okay, now I want to know about it so I know whether I'm going to put that in my plan. I'm no longer intimidated. I'm no longer feeling like you're salesy or anything like that. I know how to, at this point in my life, that's why we're sharing this, to be open to the opportunities, because they've been coming our way all along. We've just not been in tune to them. And the key component with success happening is the obstacles, because they're coming. It's being able to overcome them, right? One of the things that corporate America taught me, and it's that change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. Inevitable means that it is going to happen. So if you have a hard time embracing change, then let's look and talk about the mindset. The mindset has to shift, because you'll remain stuck until you decide to make the change. And while you're stuck, the world is moving on. The kids are growing up. You're getting, then you're like, oh my God, I've been sitting like this for 20 years.
Where did the
It
time
will
go?
only happen. It'll only happen when you're ready to change. But come on, Dr. Broadnax, come on.
Oh no, that was my comment. You sit there and you're like, where did the time go? What have I been doing?
Yeah.
That's one thing that I like that you said, again, with the goals, we all make goals. And I think we definitely need to know the difference in the different type of goals that can be made. You can have stepping stone goals. You start off just pretty much like you crawl before you walk. So you have a short term, you got long term, you got lifetime, you got so many different type of goals that you can set to build and climb up the steps till you get to your lifetime goal. So that makes a difference too. But you definitely have to write it down. I wasn't big on that. And just like what Marguerite has said, my stepping stone or short-term goal is to actually do more speaking on Facebook or social media and different things like that. I hate it. Amongst us doing it here, I'm good, but that's one of the goals that I set, to actually get done this quarter. So, we definitely have to keep abreast of things that we want to do and always revise our vision board, as you say, mark off as you do it. Because if you don't, you'll get stagnant and it just stay there. So as long as you keep it on the board, you don't mark it off, you're not stepping to that goal.
There you go.
I like it. And I want to add one other thing. I want to add the thing because you said something, Pam, about the vision. So the scripture tells us to write the vision, make it plain. So I'm learning myself to, as I write it down, got notebooks all over the place. I'm writing things down because the more
Yep.
you're able to look at it, not picture, you thinking it in your mind, but when
Right.
you see it written down on paper, that makes a world of difference.
Right.
You know, so I think that when you write it down, it's so important to journal. So important to journal. That's something I would love for the viewers to really, really think about journaling. Because people don't think about journaling. We don't think about journaling, but it's so important because it allows us to see. Because you know, a lot of times when you don't see it, it's just like absent.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yes. So if you write it down, you can see it and it makes it plain and clear. So you
That's
can
good.
walk into it.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna preach that. Thank you.
Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, I just think that being real specific, going back to the topic tonight, it helps you during hard times because
Yeah.
you have to develop what's called capacity to understand that the goal is for you to have something to look forward to, but in case there is a detour, in case there's a detour of illness, in case there's a detour of death, in case there's a detour of a divorce, in case there's a detour of depression, in case there's a detour of, low self-esteem, it's a plethora, excuse me, of things that could be deemed as a roadblock that'll, make you feel like you're in hard times. Your money isn't correct. You blew it all because you thought about just the happy rainbow and didn't think about anything tumultuously, anything tumultuous happening. So this topic, I think we might have to stretch this one on out a little bit because I only stayed on the specific. We gotta just stay. we just gotta stay, have a goal in sight. Let me say one more thing. When you start a business, if you wanted to go to the bank asks you for a business plan. That means that in order for them to even extend you credit, to extend you money, they want to know that you sit down and create your mission, that you create the vision statement. What is your SWOT analysis of the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities that you have? What are the threats to the business? They want to know what it is. So if the businesses want to know, what makes it different from you, entrepreneur, for you, sole proprietor, for you, solopreneur? It doesn't. See, we think that just because I'm wearing all the hats, that I'm any different than these big box businesses. No, those big box businesses leave clues. And so those are the same things that we have to put in place. And that's why I thought when Dr. Robinson asked for us to continue the conversation, that we had to start with SMART goals.
All right, that's good.
SMART goals. So
this is good.
Let's see.
This is good.
I hope that people were taking some notes. The notes are that, you want to make sure that with the SMART goal, that it is realistic to you.
Yes.
And you're able to attain it. You can't listen to other people. That's what I was telling my students. I said, when you have that goal written down and mama asks you, well, I don't think you should do that. You should do this and that. You're not quite sure. You go back to the goal. Go back to the goal. And just imagine, I see this year after year after year, a lot of our babies are scared. One student, we went into tears, had me choked up, couldn't talk, because she was scared. Then in 4 months, she was about to be on her own.
Wow.
So we stayed in creating the SMART goals. We are never too old to create this and teach it to our kids. There's always an objective that you have to meet. Any class that you've taken, even at the church has an objective. They have a framework. They have a process. They have a strategy. These are the same things that are going to help us during hard times, because once we get down into the SMART goal, there's one that's realistic. And I don't want to go too far into it, and the achievable component. That is where the rubber meets the road. Like, what are you going to do when the times get tough is that same question, but we had to answer it on top of how important is your profession. Because if you don't make your profession important, how important do you think the profession is for the nurses that have to deal with individuals that are coming into the healthcare system, and we are busting at the seams? How important is it to them? The question again is, how important is to you? What contribution do you want to leave here? What mark do you want to leave? What fingerprint do you want to leave? What blueprint? What generational legacy do you want to leave? Is it going to be monetary? It don't have to. It can be knowledge.
Right.
I'm living off a generation of knowledge that my grandfather with an 8th grade education set forth. And it's the most valuable thing that he could have left. So as adults, we have these conversations. Our community needs it as well. So I am honored to be a part of this community here because we get a chance to talk about things that may be uncomfortable. It was the uncomfortable conversations with myself. It was the uncomfortable conversation that I had to have with people who gave me constructive criticism. And I realized that it didn't have to be constructive criticism. I had to self-evaluate.
That's right.
Those are the things that help us when we're able to manage during hard times, because hard times don't last always.
You better
Anybody want to
say
add
that.
on to that as
Always.
we wrap up?
You know,
That's good.
these, and what I like about Let's Talk About It is this. I love the direction it's going in because it's helping so many of us to understand. And I like something you said. We're not too old to learn. If you are this person that's looking at this recording and you realize you haven't set goals, you probably don't know how to set goals, whatever the case may be, it's okay. Because you can learn. Out of all the business, when I was 23, I opened my first salon. And I ran that salon based on what I had learned from people that had been teaching me all the time. But it was different when it was mine because there were so many things that I didn't know. And it was okay, and it is okay to say, hey, I need to get some knowledge on how to make this effective. So when times come, when those slow months come, or whatever may happen, and no money's coming through the salon, I learned then early in the game, as Pam said, how to do retail. I was selling purses, nice purses, y'all. I ain't talking about knockoffs, but I was selling very nice purses. I was doing things that would keep finances flowing through my business. And so what I'm saying to you all, if you're looking at this, I challenge you to reach out to Let's Talk About It team and find out what you need to do to set your business up. Yes, Shanae, we're going to continue this because I know you only hit the surface and it was so good to me until I'm going to go revisit this again so I can be ready for the next level. Why? Because I don't care how well your business is running today. You need to always have a plan. Because when COVID came, it knocked a lot of people down, but we survived. Amen. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it caused us to do things a little bit different. So the reason why we're having this conversation now is because we know something is over the horizon. Don't know what it is, but you need to be prepared, okay? So you can survive. I challenge you to tune in on next Tuesday, 6 o'clock, and join in this conversation. Learn more about our topics and information because Shanae is the financial guru. I call her for my stuff because there are things I don't know that she's educated. Like I do Dr. B, I can call him for things that I don't know. I can call more Marguerite. Y'all may not know her more, but I know her. But I can call her for things that I need. I definitely call Pam. So what I'm saying is that we've got to learn how to be a community all the way around and help support each other in our businesses because some of us have our business set up kind of poorly. And if it's set up poorly, It's not going to stand. So once again, we thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Tuesday. We will be back on the same platform. The Lord says the same, 6 o'clock Central Time. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Platinum Beauty Supply Store, Isabella Graphics, Pretty Gloss Princess, Kingdom Dominion Worship Ministries, and none other than Reverend Donnie Robinson. So please support us as we help support you. Someone is going to listen to this and they're going to learn something valuable that's going to cause their business, not just their business, but their life to change. That's why we exist. So we thank you. Dr. B, God bless you for coming on tonight. I couldn't do it without him. He is the man to keep the show running. I'm serious.
Yeah.
He is the man that keeps the show wide open. I'm grateful to Shanae with all the knowledge that God has imparted in her for such a time as this, for people like you and I. I am so glad to have Amor on this platform. She's been with us. She's been hanging in here. She got nuggets like you wouldn't believe. And she pull them out just when we need them. And they be golden nuggets, you know, and they be things that we need that will help us and help our foundation to stand. And Pam, the magnificent educator and the greatest timekeeper in the world. She is a pusher. She will push you. If she see things need to be done, she's excellent in that. And so everybody has a part to play. And when we're all playing our parts, that's what makes us strong. Tune in next week. Find out more about how you can survive during these hard times, because hard times coming. Nobody, even people with millions, can't run from hard times. They may have the finances, but they're dealing with something. Okay? I'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Let's say I live.
Live.
Right.